Everyone, I'm Mackayla, and today we're welcoming To Kill a Monster to the soundtrack of our lives, and we're really glad to have you here.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. So, for
Uh,
our listeners who have never heard of your band, can you give us a little introduction into who you are?
how little and how introductive.
That is up to you.
Little one, we're a punk rock band from Columbus, Ohio. Very 90s rock-ish.
Okay. Yeah, so you have a new single called The Past. Can you give us a peek into what listeners can expect from that?
The past is very punk rockish, well, it's a great representation of all the stuff we've been working on lately. It's all about just taking it back to being young and dumb and having a good time, no matter how short-lived it was, with all your friends that you may not even speak to anymore or see. Or if you're still in that area, it just speaks to that. Getting out of high school, getting into the world and not really sure what to do. So having fun.
Yeah, I think that's something that everybody can relate to at some point in their life.
Life moves by very fast.
So how would you say that this song has evolved or changed, like your sound has evolved or changed since you started to where you are now?
So I am the only original member left, and this band started in like 2003.
Hmm.
So it has came a very long way since then, and the sound has definitely evolved now with the new guys. They're extremely talented. So the music itself is still very similar to what we've always done, but I'd like to think it's a much more polished and sometimes very technical version now. It's still very much 90s rock-esque roots in everything, but we've always gone out of our way to not let anything stop us from doing whatever genre we want, playing around with different genres and throwing it into a song that makes it still sound like us. This new single, The Past, is probably the most all around version of who we are now, and I hope people take to it.
Yeah, so what do you hope fans take away from it?
I just hope they like it. I hope it can remind them of a time when things were simpler, or it just reminds them that it's just another day, and like today's just another day, and there's still plenty of good times ahead. We've been about that for a long time, and just life's short, have fun. Even though things keep moving, those days will always be there.
Like that's always something that we need to be reminded of. You just lose track of it when, life is happening.
Constantly. COVID was a terrible time. Everything changed, music industry wise, of course, but everything
Hmm.
changed. And I don't know if the video was sent to you or not, but this new song, this video is very reminiscent of what our band was like back then. We had a band house together, and I can only imagine how much different COVID would have felt if we were all living together in one house like back then. Probably wouldn't have been nearly as scary, and probably would have had plenty of TikToks. But yeah, life moves way too fast. And the past couple years, everything's gotten crazy. The older we get, the more complicated it gets. It's just, and this is just all about trying to forget about all of that for a minute.
Yeah, that's the best time when you just can forget about everything else.
Yes.
Definitely the best part of anyone's day. What do you guys do to kind of forget about everything else going on besides making music?
Video games help.
Yeah.
We all have families. We all have pets. Video games are a constant general theme, but normal stuff everybody else likes. TV,
Yeah.
everything, just to kind of turn our brains off for a minute. But unfortunately, as a musician, brains turning off isn't really a thing.
Yeah.
As anytime, especially with me, anytime I'm watching something or doing something, anytime a lyric pops in, anytime inspiration pops in, it's okay. Got to go write that down. Got to go record that. Got to go make sure I don't forget that.
Hmm.
But video games help.
So when you're getting inspired, does it just hit randomly?
For me, yes. Watching the right movie or hearing the right song at the right time, depending on different emotions for the day and everything. I don't like to write the whole song in the moment. Like, or I
Hmm.
don't I don't like to I don't like to sit down and write a song like with purpose, I guess. I just like to write when it happens. And then I write everything down and go back through and kind of see what works together, what doesn't. And I like the way it all ends up in the end rather than trying to sit down and write a song.
Makes sense. Everyone has a different way that works for them.
Oh yeah, the other guys in the band can just flesh out a whole song and be done, but I can't. Brain's too sporadic for that.
I know the feeling. Yeah, so how does it work when you're all kind of trying to either like write a song or put together an album or anything like that, making sure that you each have your input while it still sounds cohesive?
For us, it highly depends on the song. It's less about individual like percentage, if you will, and more about just whatever the song itself calls for. Some of the guys in the band now are brand new or been with us for a couple of years now. So this new batch of music is still probably the learning curve of all of us as one, especially with how we write, kind of how anything can go. The last song we put out before this was a very country inspired, somewhat of a joke song, but trying to make it still serious, trying to make it a real song, if you want to call it that. And it just all depends. Each song, like the past, for instance, our guitarist James wrote probably 80% at least of the instrumentals. And this was like at least the fifth or sixth rendition of trying to make this song happen because not it just didn't work until it did, and then it was perfect. So it all just depends. Nobody's really we got a big head about them to where like I have to have this part in here or else I'm out
Hmm.
because that doesn't work.
Yeah, so there's no jealousy or anything when somebody's idea doesn't work and someone else's does.
No, we have way too much still to write. That just ends up being another song, and it works out great.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that it's similar to stuff that you're working on now. So is there more music that you're working on other than the past that you can talk
Yeah,
about?
we will be announcing our new EP. So we have a couple more brand new songs coming out right after this, as well as The Broken and Whiskey, which have already come out. And those are all collectively the new songs that we've written together as a almost a whole band, minus our brand new guitarist who has joined us and is incredible. But the rest of these songs have all been worked on by the rest of us. After that comes out, yes, we are already working on the next EP or album, whatever kind of happens, whenever it kind of happens, because usually with this stuff it takes us a long time to actually get it done. So we'll see if we put out just another EP or actually get to that album finally.
Is there anything you can share about the new EP? Like what it's going to sound like or anything like that?
I think collectively, especially with like the two songs that are already out and then now the past, the next two that come out with it, I think it captures exactly who we are because we're kind of all over the place, but I want to believe it's all still very cohesive. I want to believe it's all still very us. One song's very emo, one song's country. The other song is it was a good introduction song to how to us writing together, the broken that is. And then now the past is a perfect culmination of everything. And the other song, Ghost, is very personal, but very still radio rock forward type of song. I hope it all captures what we are, who we are. A lot of our old catalog, if you were to only listen to one song, I have no idea which version you're gonna get. We've always dabbled in kind of just playing around, playing with whatever. A zombie song, an acoustic random song about a bear, your obvious radio rock songs, a pirate song, everything. Nothing's ever off the table, depending on what kind of mood I'm in.
Is there anything you haven't tried that you want to?
I'm sure there's a different and maybe better answer, but something that we're working on as soon as we figure out the best way to record it, is going to be an acoustic album. And one of my friends one time, I forget what it was, some kind of random video or snippet of something that came out, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I knew you could sing, but I didn't know you could like sing." And I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, you guys always have like the heavy music and everything in the background. I didn't know you could like sing." I was like, "Okay, sure." But I kind of took that to heart and I was like, okay, well, if there are people that, because there's always going to be people that like different kind of music. I myself love City and Color as opposed to not as opposed to, but Alexis on Fire and City and Color, two incredibly different bands, but the same singer, incredibly different feels. If there are people that don't want to hear heavy drums, heavy guitar, screaming, okay, we have plenty of songs that are just as good, and I have more room to really sing. So we have one demo of that, and it's not mixed or anything, but it already came out incredible, and I cannot wait to get further into that.
That's
I
cool
think it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise.
because you can actually sing.
So I can sing, not just sing. Yeah,
Right. It's gonna surprise everybody.
hopefully. I'd like to believe that everybody can still capture my singing in what we do, but that'll definitely be a little bit extra for them.
Okay, showing off the skills.
Sure, we can call it that. I like to view it as just okay. Well, now the music's turned down. Here you go.
Hmm. Yeah, so as we get closer to the release for the past and then the EP that you're going to be announcing after, how are you staying connected with your fans and building excitement for it?
We have a few videos, teasers to share. Still working on a couple other things to kind of throw out and hopefully get people excited. That's one thing that we as a band have never been good at. Me and myself, especially, is just keeping up with all the social media, different things like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. There's so much to do.
Hmm.
I just don't have time. But we're working on and have worked on. We've had this all planned for a while, so we have a few teasers actually ready this time as opposed to before. The music video is going to come out. I'm so happy with how it turned out. That was our first time working with Kyle, and he did amazing. He captured exactly what the song is about. And then we also have we just announced a few shows and still have more to announce. It just never stops. And once you let it stop, that's when you lose the drive,
Hmm.
the you know what I mean.
I do. I
What's really hard.
understand.
We have a few teasers, a few more shows to announce. We just announced we'll be at the Newport Music Hall with Boba Flex, and that's in April, I think. So we have a few things.
Hmm. What can fans expect from live shows that you put on?
That can be perfectly answered with the next announcement of our music video for Ghost that is going to come out with the new EP.
Okay.
It's all just about having fun. Again, the group of guys I have are incredible musicians, but we're dabbling with playing with in-ears and playing to a click, but we never have. We've always just we're a punk rock band at heart, so we just go have fun and
Hmm.
we try to have fun at our shows. Not that it sounds bad, but it could always be cleaned up. But yeah, emphasis is just have a good time. It's a party. Like I said earlier, we have a pirate song. That's our closer. It's always a good time. I would like to believe we put our set in a way that is cohesive, that is a quick journey through what we offer and many ups and downs, but way too many ups because we're high energy and fun. But yeah, the video that's going to come out for Ghost after this, it's incredible. Again, working with Kyle, I captured exactly what I was hoping it would.
So when you go into start planning to shoot a music video, what does that process look like for you guys?
A lot of times in the past, it highly depends on the videographer. This time for the past, it started as just just the generic idea, like okay, let's have a party. But it was more talking with him and hoping to achieve something a little bit more than a party, and hopefully the viewer can get transported into a time in their life that they remember nice, like that they remember being happy and having fun and having a good time, and just to capture like the memories of things, just to capture the good times, just to capture hopefully more than just a generic party video. But if that's all it is, that's okay too.
Going back to live shows, do you have any pre or post show rituals that you do?
Hmm. Post show ritual is just to die off stage for a minute, just to catch my breath. And as a singer, a front man, quote unquote, of the band, I am super shy and anxious and nervous right up until our set starts.
Hmm.
And as soon as our song starts, as soon as the music starts, I'm good. But right up before that, I am an emotional train wreck. So for me, it's just waiting and waiting and waiting to get on stage, and then okay, we're good. Other than that, no, not really that I can think of. Other than just a group shot during our pirate song.
Okay. Do you have any plans to celebrate once the past is released?
We technically, so this all worked out fairly well. March 8th we'll be playing, or will have played with already by this. March 8th we're playing with Psycho Stick, a very very well known comedic band. I'm sure there's a better description of them, but they're crazy. And this is unfortunately one of two of the last shows with one of their original members, Maddie Moose. So that night will be a very very big party, Columbus, king of clubs, that just kind of happened to work out that way.
Hmm. That's
Um,
fun.
Aside from that, no, we didn't really have anything planned or anything like that. Or with the EP, we're all too busy to do anything other than when we get to practice and get to play shows.
Hmm.
It's unfortunate, but I don't really get to hang out and do things unless we are on the bill,
Hmm.
because life is crazy and chaotic and everything takes all the time in the world.
Yeah. If only we had more time.
If only.
So, do you have any like fun fan encounters that have happened when you're at a show?
I mean, there's a long list of shows over the past like 20 years, but I'm sure there's like a very obvious answer that I'm not thinking of right now. There's just we've had so many awesome times over the years. We played the Nutter Center, an arena in Dayton, Ohio, with Secondhand Serenade. That was an incredible night. After we played, we sat at the merch booth and signed pictures and autographs for like 3 hours. You get it.
Hmm.
That was just an incredible night of incredible people. We've played Vans Warped Tour, Cornerstone Festival. Not okay, not that it's probably the best example, but one thing I'll never forget is Vans Warped Tour. If you're lucky enough to play as an unsigned local band, a lot of people there have no idea who you are, obviously. So to try to promote yourself and get people to know it, we were trying to hand out demos.
Hmm.
Nobody would take them for whatever reason. At a festival like Warped Tour, people love free stuff. I always did. I
Hmm.
grabbed everything I could. But for
Yeah.
whatever reason, they just didn't want to that day. That's fine. So I started just tossing them on the ground. I think we all did. And just everybody picked them up. Just would watch everybody pick every single one up. A couple of them saw us throw it and then brought it back to us. I was like, okay. And then as soon as they ran away, I'd throw it again. But that's definitely one random thing I'll never forget. Probably not the most heartwarming, but it was entertaining. Cornerstone Festival, being there camping out for a week, just waking up to music, seeing the same people every day as you pass by. It's harder now because there's not as many all ages shows, it feels like, as there used to be. There's a lot of people I still call friends that I met when they were super young and just like there with their parents. And, we to be told years later that we helped, you know, be a part of them growing up, being a part of something, they looked up to or whatever, like that's everything.
Hmm.
In the moment, you could never think that's gonna be the case, or that you're
Yeah.
even gonna be remembered by whoever that you run into. But yeah, no, just a ton of incredible things over the years. I'm trying to think of something more recent, but a lot of the more recent shows have been a lot of the same fans coming out to support us, and that alone is incredible to just have a big group, big family of fans that want to support us.
Hmm.
'Cause it ain't easy.
Yeah. So, if you could collaborate with any artist who's living or dead, who would it be?
I'm not sure about one that's not with us anymore, but everybody in the band has very very drastic inspiration, so I'm sure all of their answers would be very different. But personally, Jack Black, Kyle Gass, Tenacious D. Aside from that, The Offspring is a huge inspiration to me, a huge inspiration to what our sound has been about. But now it's a lot more guitar technical with the new Shreddy boys. But yeah, Tenacious D, The Offspring, Rise Against, Billy Talent, Eve Six, MC Chris, Jean Lajoie, just a broad spectrum of people that I would love to do something with and look up
Hmm.
to. And again, City and Color, Alexis on Fire, AFI, The Used, so many.
Hmm. If you could give advice to anyone who is starting out, what would your advice be?
Have fun. I'm sure there's like I want to believe there's a real answer, but especially over the years, I've seen so many incredible local bands never make it, and I've seen so many that do, that there was never any rhyme or reason to it. And it's a lot of that capturing that magic in a bottle that once you get it, you hopefully it goes all the way. But if I had any advice, it would be not to try to make it, just to go play instruments with your friends and have fun. If something bigger happens from that, that's awesome. But just to do it, there's nothing like a million experiences I've had over the years through this that I never would have had anything like it otherwise. I've met countless people that I now call friends for life through this. I met my wife through this. You never know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
And my memory is terrible, so I don't remember a ton of our shows. My friends make fun of me because they ask me like, "Oh, I remember this night," and I'm like, "No, I don't. I remember that it happened. I know that it was a thing, but I don't remember." And I'm gonna butcher the quote, but I think it was and I can't even remember his name. Foo Fighters. Yep, Dave Grohl. Jeez, said it best. Just go grab a bunch of crappy instruments and play songs with your friends. Something to that effect. I'm sure I butchered the actual quote, but and if you're past like the whole starting phase, record everything, write everything down. You never know what will become a song or a piece of a song later that has the potential to become a hit or not,
Hmm.
whatever. Yeah,
That is some good advice.
I hope.
I mean, I think just having fun is important because if you're not having fun, why are you doing it?
Yes. It's hard to remember that sometimes. And that was again back to the past that is hopefully reminiscent of is just have fun.
Yeah, life gets in the way of that.
Do the adulting, do the work, and then just you don't have to grow up to exist.
Hmm. Yeah, it would be so much easier if we didn't have to adult all the time. But yeah.
It would be nice. If there's anything I stand for, it's don't grow up. Don't
Hmm.
don't adult all the time. Adult when you have
Yeah.
to, for sure, but no.
Yeah. Okay, so before I ask the last question, where
Yeah.
can fans go to stay updated on the latest news and announcement from you guys?
So it's not the best answer because we have like 5,000 followers or whatever, and only like 20 people see each post. But Facebook, Instagram, I want to say that you'd be able to find our shows better through Spotify, but obviously Spotify for the new music and everything, YouTube. But the main way to stay updated is Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. So the last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
As in bands or just anything.
And answer it however you want to.
Okay. Well, a lot of what I already said, The Offspring, AFI, The Used, Tenacious D, Alexis on Fire. A newer band that's not similar-ish, Bad Flower. Obviously Foo Fighter, Green Day, Blink 182, a ton of old bands. A lot of it's been great seeing the great emo revival with a lot of bands coming back and doing more stuff again.
Hmm.
I can't even think of some of the ones that I was gonna say that I saw put out new music or announcements recently, but
So
um,
many.
yeah, a ton. It's been great, especially with growing up on that type of music. The new music that comes out, it keeps changing and changing all the time, and I love just the simple old school punk storytelling, rock, whatever, against like storytelling. I knew I was gonna mess it up as soon as I wanted to say his name. Yep, can't remember his name. Yeah,
Okay.
I love storytellers as well. I grew up on country before I knew what music was. The Judds, old school country. Before I found my way into so much other music. And funny enough, one of the first bands that started me on this path was Aqua,
Okay.
Barbie Girl,
Cool.
Candyman. I came across their music video for I think Candyman and was like, I don't, that's not country. What is this? And then it just spiraled from there. The Offspring, Tenacious D, some of the first CDs back in the day, Smashing Pumpkins. I could go on and on.
Hmm.
So much. And then the other side of things, Ailstorm, Necrogoblicon, Baby Metal. Saw them at Sonic Temple side stage. They were incredible. Yeah. So there's so much music out there. There's nothing off limits.
Yeah, there's so much music for everyone.
Yes.
That's the best thing about music is that there's something for everyone.
if you know where to look.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's hard to know where to look sometimes, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's where I started music is the just the idea that there's so much different stuff out there that I never wanted to just be a punk band or just be a rock band or
Hmm.
whatever. Still hopefully sound like us, but take
Yeah.
inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah. There's no need to limit yourself. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you for reaching out, having myself here, the rest of the band in spirit. I hope you enjoy the past. I hope your listeners, followers, anybody enjoys this and hopefully can take something out of it